Guys, I am so sorry. For some reason, my camera went out. I just really don't know. But let me do this again. Good morning. You know what today is? It's Monday Morning Chats with Sack, and Sack is me. I hope that you guys had a great weekend. I had a pretty cool weekend. Um, did some laundry, went to the mall, and watched football and cleaned. That was like my, um, and went to the grocery store. So that was my weekend. But I had this hoodie. It's called Friends Support Friends. This is my girlfriend's logo. She tweeted this concept about a little over 7 years ago, and it became a brand. So she's really big in supporting. Her name is Kim Abney, known as Dr. Ab. She's on Instagram, Friends Support Friends. So definitely follow her and definitely check out her apparel. She has t-shirt, she has hoodie, she has hats, she has sleepover bags, book bags, you name it, she probably has it or she can create it. But she's one of those girlfriends that supports you. Like, she is the definition of a supportive friend, like a really supportive friend. So we've been friends since 2005. We met in college and we've been inseparable ever since. So Kim, I'm proud of you. I'm just so happy for you, and I just look forward to see where this brand will go. And I know it will go very far. So I'm just happy for you. Another thing, this busted challenge. I'm not doing the busted challenge, and some of you guys should not be doing it either. So Biscuit, don't do this challenge. If it's not for you, just sit this one aside. So hopefully, if it does not apply, let it fly. But if it does apply, please put that shoe on Cinderella. All right, so I just want to talk about a few things. One, in my Bible study, we're doing a thing called Purposeful Life. And throughout this theme, it's talking about purpose. What does it mean? What does purpose mean? What is your purpose? And then, who are the people that's in your life that can help you get to where you need to be? It's one thing to have this idea about your life. And it's another thing where you're looking at your circle and see who can help you get there. That's why some friendships don't last for a long time, because it's not that you don't love the person, but you outgrew them, or maybe you look at life differently, or maybe just life takes you for a different turn. And so last week for Bible study, we talked about what does purpose mean? And then we talked about, like, what is considered your purpose? Why are you here? Like, what does it mean to be here? Why are you here? And there were some scriptures that I used, but one scripture that I really love is Psalms 139, verse 13 through 16. If you had the chance to read the whole chapter of 139, please do. Like, it's dope. Please do. But this verse, Psalms 139, line 13 through 16, it talks about how God created you in your own image, your own unique way. Like, there is nobody like you. He knew you before you were born. He knew you when you were in your mother's womb. Like, he already know the steps that are planned for your life. Like, he already knows those things. And sometimes, like, when it talks about, and then in our actual, like, Bible study, we talked about purpose, but we talked about things that we want to change. Because sometimes you think about like your purpose in your life, and you think about, well, how would I get there? And sometimes we talk our own stuff out of our own purpose, because there's some things that we are struggling with. And so in this Bible study, we talked about our purpose. My purpose, honestly, what I believe is to lead. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy giving. That is something that I love. I give freely. I love giving back to my community. It fills me up. No paycheck can amount to that feeling when I'm able to help somebody when they can't help themselves. And I don't want nothing in return. But what I don't like is when I see people get to homeless people and they're recording it. Like, you don't need to do that. It's just not necessary. But to give and to give freely, that is a blessing. So if you're able to do so, even now, definitely consider it. If you're able to. If you can't, totally understand. And so we talked about, like, our purpose in our life, and what does purpose mean? And we talked about, sometimes we may have a purpose, but there may be some internal things that we are struggling with. Like, what are some internal things that you're struggling with? And we talked about, like, what are some things that you can change, whether it's personality, whether it's your appearance, whether it's boundaries, like what is it? And I was vulnerable during my group, and I told him, I said, when I was younger, I didn't think I was the most beautiful girl in the world. Like, I just didn't like it, from being teased when I was in my early childhood, because my teeth wasn't straight. Being teased about those things, until like now developing into my own self, where I'm confident who I am. I know I'm beautiful. You don't have to tell me that. And it's not cockiness, but it's believing that in yourself. And it's unfortunate that some people don't feel that way. Some people don't love who they are. So I challenge you, if you feel that way, I challenge you to go into the mirror and say, I love me. And yes, this may sound cliche, this may sound childish, but you will be surprised that sometimes it may be hard to do that. Because you may not like the person that you see. But you are beautiful. You are wonderfully made. Like, you are so dope. You're amazing. No one can be like you. Technically, no one can be like you. Like, you're the only person. So I challenge you that if you feel like you're struggling with your personal appearance, whether it's your face or whatever it is, hey, if you don't like your face, there's always things that you could do to change. If you don't like your hair, change it. I used to have long hair growing up. And long hair was the thing. Like, long hair was the thing. And I would tell myself, oh, I would never cut my hair. As I got older, I was like, man, cut this off. Like, honestly, this is long. This is too long for me right now. Like, I want this cut a little bit more. But I know that I had to go to my hairdresser for that. But being confident in who you are, waking up and saying, like, I feel good about myself. Like, this is a good feeling, and no one can take this away from me. But it took me a while to get there. So if you're struggling with some type of physical appearance, you can change that. If you want to lose weight, like, you could really do that. Like, I remember my highest weight, I was around like a little over 170. I lost weight. And it fluctuated through college and high school. Well, high school, college, law school. But I kept off 30 pounds. So if that's something that you want to do, like, you can do that. You can lose weight. Like, people had this negative there's a negative, meaning behind being fat, but fat can be changed. I would say overweight, but that could be changed. And that's how I felt. I felt like I was fat, when I was younger. And I was like, oh, I'm just so huge. And I made a decision to feel better and to look better. And I just started watching what I ate, and I would run. That's how I was able to drop off like 20, 30 pounds. So if that's something that you struggle with, I challenge you to look in the mirror and say, hey, I love myself. And I'm beautiful. No one can be like me. And then I talked about like boundaries, and I talked about my own situation where I was like, you know what? It's easy to do that in friendships, but some family was like, you know what? Hey, there needs to be boundaries there. Like, hey, just because I'm your family does not mean that you could call me any time in the day and ask me for legal help. No, these are set hours. Or even with some friendships, like, hey, we're cool, but I can't go there today. Or just having the ability to just say no. Like, no is a complete statement. You don't have to explain it. No. I never forget someone asked me, like, hey, can you do this for me? I said, no. They was like, why? I said, no means no. I mean, I don't know how you want me to flip it. No, or no, I don't know. But no means no. And that's okay. And the one thing I could tell you is that when you have boundaries in place, people may not like you, but they will respect you. And I'll tell people, like, hey, I noticed what you did. And I show compassion. But, hey, you can't do this again. Like, no, this is it. And even now as a business owner, when people that I'm really close to will call me and I'm like, hey, this is my day off, I'm just, chilling, watching TV. And sometime throughout the conversation, Sakina, so let's talk about business. Hey, I told you this is my day off. I'll talk to you when I'm available to talk about business. You have to set those boundaries in place, especially if you're a business owner. Because sometimes people don't know the difference. They're just like, oh, you can talk about this anytime. No. So set boundaries in place. And I'm telling you, people may not like it, but they'll respect it. And if they don't, keep those boundaries in place. The last thing I want to talk about is when I talk about like my purpose and like what I went out of my life, I also looked at my personality trait. And some people may think, oh, at first I used to think, oh, I'm an extrovert. No, I'm actually an introvert. And my personality trait is ISFJ. A stands for assertive. The I is for introvert. The S is for, what is this? Senses. I gotta look all these things up. But the good thing about my my personality trait, we're known as defenders. And we're known as the people that are caregivers, nurses, teachers. The thing about us is that we like to protect people that we love. That's just who we are. And that's me. Like, I'm that friend where we were in school, like, middle school, and someone's picking on my friend. I'm like, hey, don't pick on her. You should pick on me. Like, that was me growing up. And even now, I don't like when, like, if I have friends that don't speak up for themselves, like, I'm that friend that will speak up for you. And I'm still like that to this day. But the thing about us is that we're confident in who we are. We have self-assurance. We don't need somebody to tell us who we are. We know exactly who we are. And we're known to be there for people. We're very supportive. We're very reliable. We're dependable. And one of the things they talked about is making sure you set boundaries with certain people. That was like one of our weaknesses. And I'll tell you, like, there's some days where, regardless if I'm a tax attorney or professor, there's some days where I just like to turn off the switch. Like, I just like to be Sakina. And that's okay. And you have to make sure that if you are a business owner, turn off that switch. So I make sure, like, hey, no means no. If you don't get it, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you. But I challenge you to look at your personality trait and see your strengths. But most importantly, really look at your weaknesses and see what you can do to improve. I think for me, the goal in my life is become a better person. And I strive for that every day. I'm not perfect at all. But I just strive to be a better person. So I look at those things like, self-development. I had, for my birthday, I got this wellness journal for women. And when I tell you that it's so phenomenal, it really is. And there's different things. It talks about social relationships, it talks about interpersonal relationships. There's like 9 steps of wellness for a woman. And it also has affirmations. And so when it talks about those things, I'm like, wow, I do these things. I read affirmations. I actually have to look back at an affirmation once I leave here. Once I get off of here. But I read these affirmations because it fills me up. So you need to think about, like, what fills you up. But I challenge you, just look at your personality trait and see who you are. And it's crazy because as much as I thought I was an extrovert, I realized, no, I'm really an introvert. And when I look at these things, I'm like, okay, this is really me. Some people may think I'm an extrovert, but honestly, I'm not. I'm considered what's called a social introvert. I socialize with people that I feel comfortable with. If I don't feel comfortable with you, I'm not hanging out with you. Like, that's just who I am. And it's funny because I was looking at pictures of when I was in college, and like, those club pictures. Yeah, I took some of those, and I was looking at them, and I was like, Dad, I'm only with 4 people. It's like my close girlfriends, or I'm with my cousins. They're the people I feel close with. Now, if it's like a gang of people, the only time you may see me in like a group picture in college was when I'm going to a sorority party. And I'm with my sorors. But they will know after the picture, count me out. I am to the side with a drink, minding my business. I don't need to be in the mix. I don't care to be seen. Just let me mind my business. But that's just who I am. So I'm not an extrovert. I'm an introvert. And I'm cautious of who I'm around because my energy. Like, I don't like to be around negative people. It just does something to me. I just rather not be around you. So I challenge you to look at that. Like, I challenge you to look at your personality trait and see like who you really are. And I could tell you, like, this is the whole this is like my whole summary, and I can tell you that it fits me to a T, to a certain extent. It fits me to a T. It's like very accurate. And I was like, wow, like this is me. This is me. So, as a brief synopsis, what is your purpose in your life? Like, who are you? Who are you? Why are you here? Again, I told you to read Psalms 139, verse 13 through 16. You are unique in your own way. You are beautiful. You are wonderful. No one can be like you. No one's designed like you. But who are you here? Who are you? And who are the people that you are connected to? Can they get you to your purpose? Everybody needs somebody. A lot of times people say, oh, I could be bad by myself. No. You need somebody. Everybody needs somebody. And I like to go into the mindset with that, such as, there's a lot of things I can do, but I can do it better with somebody else, whether it's a friend, whether it's a significant other, whoever it is. Like, you always can do better with someone. My favorite line, and my pastor says this all the time: we are better together. But if you go in the mindset as, oh, I can do this by myself, I don't need anybody, you are selling yourself short. So when it comes to purpose, like, who are you aligned with? Who are you around? If you know the purpose that God has for your life, you got to be mindful of the people that you surround yourself with. And your faith got to be there too. You got to know that it can happen and it will happen. Your personality trait. Like, who are you? My personality trait is ISFJ. A means assertive. And it really describes me to a T. And I looked at the weaknesses. I was like, oh, yeah, that definitely has to be changed. So, who are you? I'm really big on self-awareness and figuring out, okay, hey, I'm going to hold myself accountable. If I'm wrong, I will tell you. I'm not afraid to say that I'm wrong about different things. So, I hope that this helped you. I hope that you never forget how amazing you are. I hope that you never forget that you are unique in your own way. You are phenomenal. You are great. And you're going to do great things. Don't get discouraged all the time. Sometimes you may have to wait for things. But when it's your time, it will definitely be your time. I hope that you have a great Monday. If you are off, I hope that you use this day to relax and maybe do some community service. I just hope that, you continue to work on yourself. And I challenge you, like I said before, I challenge you to look in the mirror and say, I love me. And even though that sounds like a kiddie thing, but you'd be surprised. Some people don't love themselves. But you should, because you are amazing. You are phenomenal. You are dope. You are spectacular. I pray that you have an amazing Tuesday. I hope that your Wednesday is spectacular. I pray that your Thursday is extraordinary. I pray that your Friday is just the bomb. And I pray that your weekend is lit. But most importantly, I just pray that you never forget how amazing you are. Take care, guys. And again, happy Monday.